Thank you for coming to the Ideation Summit. We're really excited you're here, and we're going to hear some great innovations in education this morning. One of the ideas when we were planning this is that we have these opportunities for writing grants coming up, and which Sean Martins is going to talk about when we all get back together. But then, how can we help schools kind of think about what might we write a grant for? So this is an idea sparking event, and we're pretty excited about it. I'm Lynn Gerke. I'm one of the co-chairs of the To All Generations campaign. I'm co-chair with my husband, Bob Gerke, if you know him. And we're going to get started. I'm going to introduce the first person who's not here, but he's on my list. And Dr. Bernard Boll from Concordia Mequon. Have you heard of him before? We didn't get his video yet. And so, as with all of the presentations, we hope that by the time the week goes on, we'll have his video and we'll have it up on the website with all the others today. So he's not here, but our first person is here. Corey Nelson is going to speak on cultivating a culture of creation. I love that title. Corey is a teacher at Rochester Central Lutheran in Rochester, Minnesota. Here he is. He primarily teaches technology and math. In 24 years as a Lutheran educator, he's taught every level, really, from preschool to 8th grade. But in his spare time, which I would doubt you have a lot of, but spends a lot of time with his wife Brenda, his children Hope and Isaac, and you have a teenager in the house, right?
Yeah.
So Corey Nelson, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming, and I feel very privileged to speak to everyone today. And I just have to say that when I first heard about this and got the opportunity to speak, the first thing that freaked me out was that I was put on this short leash of 5 to 8 minutes. Now, I can barely introduce myself in 5 to 8 minutes, so I've never been a microphone I don't like. And so when I heard Bernard Boll's video was here, I instantly asked Sean if I could have his time. So I can slow down a little bit, but I'll still talk fast because I always talk fast. My math students especially are used to the fact that there's never work time because it's instruction the whole time. And there's other stuff we do. I'm playing 70s music for them this year, is Name That Tune, and we do lots of weird stuff. But today, I want to talk about the thing that currently is really important to me and what's going on at RCLS. It's a culture I'm trying to cultivate and motivate others to do also, because I think it's so important from what I see going on in education. And we have some nice circumstances at RCLS right now, one of which is our principal is very responsive, and when I go to her and ask for things, she finds a way to make it happen. And that most of my things have kind of hefty price tags at times. And we have some very nice donors right now that are helping us do things too. I just got a message yesterday. I was telling a couple of my friends at Central that I need another Lego robot. And she was not sure, and then by the end of the day yesterday, she said, okay, go ahead, we got a donation today. And I'm like, where do you just magically get these donations? Because, that's like less than 8 hours from when I left school until I got back, and, we went from, I don't know, to, okay, go ahead. So this is the stuff that's going on, and my big thing is that I like to cultivate a culture of creation rather than consumption. Create rather than consume, and hopefully that will get the whole idea there. For example, our school is very much Chromebook school, and I have to break a habit. When the kids get to about 4th grade, I have to break a habit that you can get onto a Chromebook and you can go in as a guest. There's an easy way. You just hit go to guest mode, and they get in and they put in a website and they're there. And the thing I don't like is there's very little you can do in guest mode that is creating something. Because if you make something on a Chromebook, you have to have a place to put it, which for those of you who know about how Chrome works and Chromebooks, it's Google Drive. And you can't get into your Google Drive if you're using a Chromebook in guest mode. So I have to spread that message in my own school too, that I want my classroom teachers to be creating things with their kids and not just consuming. And so consuming in our school looks a lot like things that are important. Don't get me wrong, lower elementary teachers, I understand. You want to do keyboarding with your kids, great. You want to take AR tests. You maybe have, like we have Pearson, and we want to take our weekly Pearson reading and math tests. I know those are important, but none of those things is creation. It's all consumption. You're consuming the typing, you're consuming the AR books, you're consuming the Pearson tests. What are you putting back out there? So for me, it's the difference between creating and consuming. That's what I want to see. So everything that I try to do in tech class, because we have tech class at my school, we have it once a week. Every age from pre-kindergarten up through grade 8 has a once a week tech class. And I would say I'm very impressed with what our kids are able to accomplish in their once a week classes. And some of them, and that's one of the things I like to hopefully inspire them, that they will do stuff outside of class. I never give them homework in tech class, but some of them really start with what we do and then they really follow up. I had a third grader that we make invitations to come to VIP Day, and we do it on our Chromebooks, and we're going to send them out. We give them paper copies because some VIPs, some grandparents, they like paper. And others, you can download what they make as a JPEG or a PNG image, and then we send them too. And I talked about it at the end of one class. We were running out of time. Came back the next week, and here's this third grader. She had hers done because one of her older siblings has a Chromebook at home, and she got on with her account and went in and did it herself. And I'm like, I'm impressed that you were able to just remember how to do that. Because some kids act like I can't go home and actually do the same stuff, even though I tell them they can. So this quote, I found it on the internet. It's got to be true. I have no idea if Barack Obama actually said this. Maybe he did. I love what he said. What the quote is: "Don't just consume things, create things." And this one is a recent study about tweens and teens. So this hits a lot of the students that you see and what they are doing with technology. Between passive and interactive consumption, communication, and then it's interesting to see how the numbers are similar. Communication goes up when you're a teen. Surprise, surprise. But look at the creation percentage for both the groups. Very little. You think about the kids maybe the kids in your own house. How much creation are they doing? I look at my two kids. My son is a 6th grader. He does a lot more of the consumption stuff on technology than he does it. My daughter, on the other hand, who's an 8th grader, she's almost exclusively creation because she's a musician, and so she's making songs, she's recording songs, she's loading songs to YouTube. She's trying to get her subscribers on her YouTube channel up above a certain level. She's trying to be the first one when Grace Vanderwall puts out a new song on ukulele. She wants to be the first one to cover that song and put it on YouTube. So it's because of where she is, who she is right now. I'm not going to say, what we did with our daughter is exactly what everything. It's just who she is and where she is right now. She got inspired by a Grace Vanderwall last summer, taught herself to play ukulele, and so she's creating a lot of stuff. But that's just a fluke, I think. But hey, she's having a great time. So that's what I would like to see. That's what I'm trying to create the culture of at our school, is to up that creation percent. You can come to my school any day of the week, come to when I have a tech class, and you are never going to see consumption. I guarantee it. That's a challenge. Come on down and visit. We love visitors. Come and join us. And any day. Now sometimes, as you'll see, some things, it's kind of a trick. Not a trick. It's kind of tricky to figure out how can you change this thing that does not inherently look like a creative activity. How can you turn it into creation? So for me, it started with tech class, or EC class. This time it's a tech class. That's where it started, that I got the opportunity to teach tech classes at RCLS 7 years ago, maybe now. And when I started tech class, I had no idea what I was doing, because guess what? Nobody was teaching a tech class. And so then I was just given the opportunity and said, go, and life-changing. literally life-changing. Some of you, maybe not, maybe one of you, I was a second grade teacher for almost a decade and loved it, loved everything about second grade. And then this opportunity came along. And it's really, what I've done since then has been life-changing. I advise all of you, if you've been teaching about 20 years and you're thinking you got it down, you need to make a drastic change. Because when I started teaching, and I had my first year in second grade, I took the place in Michigan of a second grade teacher who decided she was going to go teach middle school English. And I was like, you're insane. What are you doing? And I did the same thing now. I went from second grade to middle school. It's been life-changing, and it's been the best thing for me as an educator, honestly. It started with, one of the first things we did, we recorded video. Now, creating video, that's definitely creation. And then after video, we started doing web design. Some basic web design. If you're starting with web design, I'd start with Google sites. Very easy to do. They even have 2 versions now. They have the new and the classic. And the classic one, you can get into some pretty heavy stuff. You can get into actual HTML stuff. And you can go try to steal source code from other sites and put it in. It's kind of fun. Kids think they're hacking something. Like, you're not hacking anything, but they think it is. So it's a good place to get them started thinking about what's behind the curtain. Then there was audio. A lot of ways to create audio, record audio, through the Chromebooks even, tablets. But we did a lot of things with, how do you do audio effects and things. Then we got into, then the Lego robots came. And Lego robots, they're wonderful because first of all, it's Lego. And you get a lot of kids who buy in just because it's Lego. And then the coding that goes on, and while it is a different kind of coding, it's not the text coding. I'll tell you this, there's nobody in my school does text coding. There's one 8th grade boy who's text coding right now. He's doing HTML. But that's because, I would like to think, it's because of what he's experienced in my tech classes. I try to keep all of the coding we do into sit down at a computer in a dark room and text code, because I'm going to turn off 85% of the kids, I'm guessing. So Lego Robots is a wonderful kind of coding. It's a lot of drag and drop, but can be very complex. Because we have Lego robot competitions in Rochester that feature high school teams. And so I would highly advise anybody who can get into Lego Robotics to do it, because you're creating the robot, you're creating the code, and you're solving a problem. It's the whole package. And it's expensive, though, too.
My school has won awards for their robotics.
You do the first Lego League?
I'm not the teacher, but David Insulin is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw them on Facebook, because I'm friends with Dave. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so keep going with
I
that.
just thought that was so cool. I was inspired by this school and just relearning a lot of what I already knew about this school. And it's like, yeah, they have this whole trophy case full of their
Yes.
robotics.
Yeah. So he's doing great things. Yes, absolutely. Gives me a goal. I'm like, we're not doing that well. So we also now have several other kinds of robots, and there are a lot of robots out there that are very inexpensive. My younger students like Dash, the blue robot. Dash and Dot. Dot doesn't move, so we don't have any dots, but they will do things together. But I've never gone there. So Dash is really cool. There are apps, and it's problem solving, and it's coding. And there is some creation on the Dash robots, but it's kind of appropriate at the younger grades, even down pre-kindergarten. The pre-kindergartners use Dash because they can understand there's no reading necessary, and they can learn what to do, how to put things in sequence, and how to make things work and solve problems. I also now have MBOTs. The thing I like about MBOTs is that they run on Scratch. The foundation of most coding that goes on at RCLS is Scratch. Scratch is free, everything about Scratch is free, and I'm pretty sure it will always be free. And it keeps upgrading, it keeps improving too. There are a lot of things you can do with Scratch. If you don't know where to start with getting kids to create code and create programs in your school, you start with Scratch. There's no other place to start. I would start with Scratch before Lego Robotics. So there you go. The Lego Robotics and the coding I just talked about was Scratch. Stop motion. That was another thing. So the stop motion, creating stop motion. There are a lot of apps to make stop motion. Stop motion works really well with Legos. So, then 3D printing. 3D printing, a lot of free apps. 3D printers are not free. You can get a 3D printer for about $400. And parents love to see kids 3D printing. They will buy a 3D printer for you. You just say, well, I'd really like to get this. You just got to talk to the right people. So, the makerspace thing started, because we were doing all this stuff, we were doing all this creation stuff, we actually then turned it into a makerspace in our school, which goes way beyond everything. Now we have materials, art materials. We have any kind of thing that you could possibly want, you can make in the makerspace. And we've done a lot of stuff. And so I'm running out of space. We actually changed the name of our makerspace into Creator Space. And we put a Bible verse with it because we wanted to say, God is the creator of everything. He's the one who creates. And so we are inspired to create because God created life and the world for us. Other things that you can do to create. You've maybe heard of Pokemon Go. There is an app called Aurasma. A-U-R-A-S-M-A, something like that. It's an Aurasma app. You can make your own Pokemon Go thing. Kids can tag stuff. They can take a video of a chair, and that chair becomes a hotspot, and the other kids have to find it. You can create that. Instead of just play Pokemon Go, they can make their own. Makey are electrical circuitry stuff. They can make electrical circuits. Very inexpensive to do. Drones. We now have 2 drones. Okay, now here's the one where it's like, okay, great, we got a drone. Whew, fun to fly. What can you make? Well, we've made a lot of videos and taken lots of pictures. We've taken promotional pictures of the school for our marketing person to use. So my main goal with the drones, other than teaching the kids how to fly them, is that there's a purpose. Actually, using a drone is one of the things that you can teach in your school that leads directly to employment. Because there are people whose job it is to fly drones. Survey teams, how deep is the rock quarry? They fly over the rock quarry and their drone surveys it. So we're going to make videos, we're going to have them edit the videos and everything and make that. I have no idea what that one says. I don't know. Breakout EDU is a new one. It's like an escape room. If you've heard about the escape rooms where you have to solve the puzzles and get out of the room, you can get a Breakout EDU kit, and there are pre-made mysteries, how to get out, how to solve, how to unlock the box, and you can get a blank template, and the kids can make their own escape room games. You can review in any subject. We're just scratching the surface of that. I have one of our other teachers, Dan Kubal, actually, he went to a thing, Minnesota History Center this summer about Breakout EDU. I would highly advise it. It's easy, very inexpensive, and the creative part of it is incredible. And I believe that says innovation class. My goal is to turn everything from where I started with a tech class to turn it into an innovation class. So I'm going to probably try to get rid of the name tech class so that everything we're doing is not just about tech, but it's about all the innovation. Because there's some of the stuff I'm starting to get into that it's not purely tech, but it's all about creating and innovating. Other things we've done, I'm not going to look at you. 3D printing, we've done engineering design, woodworking is stuff I'd like to do. Some of these are things we'd like to do that happen in the makerspace. Crocheting, I want to do some computer building. We've done a lot of computer destruction to figure out how the parts are there. I want to now build computers. Glass slumping, with the wine bottles, somebody did that. Talked about the drone videos. We did duct tape. Cooking. Cooking's creation. Another one about Dan Kubal, one of our teachers has done a lot of cooking stuff there. We did BattleBots with the Lego robots, which was a lot of fun. Again, a lot of creation stuff there. Places where you can learn stuff about creation. Digo is great. It's an online bookmarking site. People bookmark places, and there are some good ones there. Tech and Learning magazine, free. I get their stuff all the time. Facebook and Twitter, of course. On Facebook, I would highly recommend the Loose Ed Facebook page and the Loose Ed Innovators. Lose Ed on Facebook is getting a lot of traffic right now. I highly recommend going there. There's a lot of good stuff talked about there. On Twitter, the people you need to follow, Bernard Ball is right there. David Black, Kevin Krutz, Matt Burkhold, of course, down in St. Louis. I assume, will this presentation be somewhere so they can get all these names? So,
Yes, we're going to make it available.
great. That way I don't have to sit here and try to get you to copy those down. There are lots of people. This is where I would start. And if you know the trick about Twitter, you start with these people, and then you go check out who they follow. And if somebody like Bernard Ball and Matt Burkhold are following them, you should follow them too. And that innovation thing that Bernard is really into. Bernard's probably the one I'd start with. Is go to Bernard Ball, start with him. He's really doing deep end, off the page, weird, far out there stuff. I'm happy to give talks. I'm happy to come to your school and present to your school and talk about things, technological things, other things like that. But you have to understand something about me. I live squarely, fully in the Android Chromebook world. I have an iPhone in my pocket, but that's probably going out the door. I'm probably going to go Android next. I love the culture that Google and Android has created. It's an entire world and it works so well together. And Android and Google play with others well too. Not like Apple. So, my final message, the whole thing is, if you're going to do something technologically, always be looking for how can you create, how can your students create with that device. That is what I look for first. How can they create? And then the second thing is, aside from technology, how can your students create and innovate? How can they experiment? And, of course, this is a whole other topic, how can they fail and learn from the failure? That's what our whole LEGO Robots program is about. We work, we fail, we work, we fail, we work, we fail. We go to the competition, we fail. So, you guys are above us, so that's good. Thank you very much for your time.